A rectangular photograph is surrounded by a border that is 1 inch wide on each side. The total area of the photograph and the border is m square inches. If the border had been 2 inches wide on each side, the total area would have been m plus 52 square inches. What is the perimeter of the photograph in inches? Okay, so this is a question where a good diagram, and taking the time to make a good diagram, will serve you well. So we got a photograph surrounded by a border. So the inside rectangle is the photograph. It is surrounded by this border, and they tell us that that border is 1 inch on every side. So we get 1 inch in all these places. And then, so if they were asking us, what do they want the perimeter of this photograph here? So let's say that's the perimeter of my inside rectangle. So let's say that has a width of W and a length of L. They are asking for 2W plus 2L. So that is what we are trying to solve for. And then they tell us if the border had been 2 inches on each side. So what does that mean? So that does not mean that I'm adding 2 inches. That means I'm adding 1 inch, right, to each side. So now I have 2 inches here, 2 inches here. And 2 inches there. The total area would have been m plus 52 square inches. So let's think about something. So my photo did not change at all. So the width of my photo is still W, and the length of my photo is still L. What did change is the length and the width of my border. So here, if my photo had a length of L, my border should have had a length of L plus 2, right? Because I have 1 inch on each side. And then the same here, if my photo had a width of W, my border should have had a width of W plus 2, because I got 1 inch on top, 1 inch on bottom. Here, the length of my border should be L plus 4, right? Because now I have 2 inches on the other side. And my width of my border should be W plus 4. So what do they tell us? In this case, the total area of the photograph is m square inches. The photograph and the border. So that's really just the area of the whole thing. So that's the area of the big rectangle, which is really just the border. So W2 times L plus 2. So W plus 2 times L plus 2 is equal to M. And then in this case, they're telling us W plus 4 times L plus 4 is equal to M plus 52. So now, when I solve these, I'm not necessarily looking for W and L. I'm trying to find 2W plus 2L. That's why I always like writing out my question early on, so I know what I'm looking for. So let's see if we can do that. So if I distribute this top guy, what do I know? I know, so WL plus 2W plus 2L plus 4 is equal to M. And then here, I know what WL plus 4W plus 4L plus 16 is equal to M plus 52. So what can I plug in here? It looks like if I just subtract this top equation from this bottom one, what am I left with? So my WLs cancel out. 4W minus 2W leaves me with just a 2W. 4L minus 2L leaves me with a 2L. 16 minus 4 leaves me with a plus 12. My N's cancel out, or my M's, sorry. And then I'm just left with a 52 on the right side, which leaves me with 2W plus 2L is equal to 40. So note, I don't know what W is, I don't know what L is, but I don't need to because they're asking me for the perimeter, which is 2W plus 2L, and that I can solve for. So long question, but good one for practicing your translation skills.